Calls for change could reach Charlotte as allegations of sex abuse worldwide continue to rock the Catholic Church.
I and we are sorry for the suffering.
Now, a bombshell grand jury report in Pennsylvania recently detailed decades of child abuse.
And now the Charlotte Diocese is considering publishing the names of local priests with credible sexual misconduct allegations against them. A big move. Anchor Allison Lottis spoke with the diocese about what would keep them from publishing that information. Allison?
Scott and Erica, parishioners are getting the Charlotte Diocese's 2018 annual report in the mail today. It reveals the diocese spent $7,800 on medical and counseling services for sex abuse victims. I spoke with the diocese about abuse cases today and asked the state's top prosecutor how he's pushing to protect victims. The Catholic Church is where parishioners practice their faith, but to victims sexually abused by priests, it's a place of pain. After the Pennsylvania Attorney General's grand jury investigation revealed allegations against more than 300 priests, prosecutors in several states opened their own investigations. A man who claims he was abused in the Charlotte Diocese in the 1970s sent this letter to North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein last month, writing, "I was repeatedly sexually assaulted by a priest, and I'm urging your office to open an investigation." But Stein tells me North Carolina law limits what he can do.
Prosecutors do not have that same investigative grand jury authority that they have in Pennsylvania.
Stein says it's up to a local district attorney to prosecute cases unless they refer them to his office. He thinks lawmakers should broaden prosecutors' powers.
We also need to close a loophole in our law that requires people to report suspected child abuse. Right now, it's only limited to parents and caregivers. It doesn't cover people in positions of trust.
Stein says the Diocese for Charlotte doesn't handle abuse allegations the same way Raleigh does.
Any complaint that they receive automatically gets referred to law enforcement. And I think that that's something that the Charlotte Diocese needs to consider as well.
In the Diocese of Charlotte, the authority that we've been going to for the last 15 years is the Department of Social Services.
David Haynes is the spokesperson for the Charlotte Diocese.
Is the Charlotte Diocese going to publish a list of priests who have been found with credible allegations of sexual abuse?
That is something that is under consideration. Some of these are personnel matters involving people who are dead, and allegations have surfaced after they died. It's very difficult to be fair to that person who's gone.
How will you respond to parishioners or other
people
citizens
like yourself? Sure.
Who may be critical if that decision is to not reveal the information?
I'll be the one who's talking about it, and you know I've always been pretty easy to find, and I'll have I assume I'll have a list of good reasons why.
And David Haynes tells me a decision on whether or not the Charlotte Diocese will publish a list of priests should be made in the coming weeks. I'll keep asking and I'll let you know. Live in South End, Allison Lottis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Allison,